Today I'm going to teach you how to make a knot dress. First thing you're going to do is take your straps. These ones are 4 by 16 inches. We're going to fold them in half right sides together. You're going to sew straight down one side and angle at the other end. You will do that for both of your straps. The second thing you're going to do is take 2 pieces of interfacing and you are going to iron those on the inside of your chest piece. One here and one on this side. Make sure you have the bubbled edge facing towards your fabric. You can use your other piece of chest piece for a pressing cloth. Now that we've sewn our strap, notice we angled one end of our strap and we have this end that is open. So we're going to start at the pointy end and take a tool here like a chopstick or a knitting needle, and we're going to invert the strap right side out. Then we will iron that and top stitch down the seam side of the strap. So we will top stitch down this side, only from this point to this point of our strap. Now we're going to top stitch our straps. Make sure you're sewing on this side of your strap. You're going to stop right here at the ankle, before you hit the ankle. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to create the back of the bodice of the knot dress. You're going to take one piece of lining, and you're going to have your other piece of your bodice that you ironed your interfacing squares to. You're going to put those right sides together and sew around the curves, just like this, stopping at these 2 points. Make sure you back stitch good at each end. Now you're going to take your front bodice, just like this, and you're going to take your straps, your first strap, you're going to lay that face down just like that, okay? Now if you have any embellishments you want to add to the chest piece of this dress, you're going to take that and lay that down first. You're going to find the center and then sew your piece of lace, in this case, straight down. Now we'll take our piece of lining, just like this, and we'll start sewing just like we did before. We're going to come up to this top portion right here and stop. You'll flip back your lining and tuck your strap piece in. Now you want to pleat it just a little bit, just to give it a little extra. So sew across again, and then you're going to add your next strap, making sure that your seams face on the outside. So again, pleat your strap just a little bit, lay this down. You want your strap to end up being about a finger's width away from the corner of your dress, and then sew all the way down the curve like you did on the other piece. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pinking shears and clip the curves on the front and back bodice of the dress. So I already did that for us. Just be careful not to clip your stitch line. And then we have this one clipped as well. After we clip them, we're going to turn them right side out. Make sure you poke out your corners really good with your finger or a chopstick. And we'll iron them really good. Make sure you roll out all those curves that you just clipped and iron them really well. Now if you have something on the front part of your dress, like this one where we have lace, don't iron over the lace. Just iron around that area because the lace will melt if you iron it. So get those guys all nice and flat. Just like that. Now we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to join the two side areas together. We'll take our bodice piece and the front and the back and line up the sides just like that to sew them. Now we're going to take our two pieces of bodice and we're going to put them right sides together. We kind of split them open even though we just ironed them. And we're going to match up this joint middle seam together, and then we're going to start sewing here and go all the way across to this other side. Make sure you back stitch good on each end, and then we will repeat for the other side. Clip off and then go flip them over and do the other side. Make sure you use a foot's width seam allowance as you're doing it. Now I've got the other side sewn. Now what we'll do is we'll kind of just manipulate it till it's right side out, just like this. Now you can go back and we're going to top stitch all the way around the edges of the dress. This is the time if you have a tag or anything you want to add to the dress, you can include that. So we're just going to top stitch very closely to the edge, going slow to be nice and straight. Make sure when you're pivoting you keep your needle down to keep your place as you're sewing. Turning as you're going through each side. And make sure you back stitch and come back around. Now our bodice is all complete. Next thing we're going to do is create the skirt for our knot dress. This is going to be our main piece of fabric for our dress. We're going to make one that is tiered. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of skirt and our tiered section of our dress and we're going to put those right sides together, making sure we line up our side seams and sew those together. Once we get this one sewn on, then we're going to take our last piece, which I'm going to call our band, that's going to go at the bottom, and we're going to sew that to our skirt piece. And what we'll do is after we've sewn it, we're going to go ahead and serge it, and then we'll top stitch each of the joints. Now that we've sewn and serged our band and our tiered section together, we're going to peel back our tiered section, and we're going to sew straight down this joint area. We're just going to be on the pink just about maybe 1/8 of an inch. That's called top stitching. And the reason for top stitching is it's going to keep this blue aqua part from flipping up on our dress while it's being worn later. So just take your time and make a nice straight line. that's all sewn, we're going to take it over to our ironing board now, and we're going to iron up our hem on the dress. Now that we've top stitched our band to our tiered section, we're going to come over here and we're going to iron our hem prior to sewing it. So you're going to fold over about a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to fold over another 1/2 inch all the way down the band of your dress. Now that we've ironed our hem on our band, we're going to take this piece and join it with the main section of our skirt. We're going to put those right sides together. I always like to stick a pin in the joint of the seam where the two pieces meet, just to make sure they line up good. We're going to sew that a foot's width. Make sure you back stitch good. Sew all the way down to the other end, back stitch good over that, and then you're going to serge it and top stitch just like we did on the other band. Now that we've sewn our skirt to our band and tier piece, we're going to come back and top stitch all the way down on the top part of our fabric. This will just give our skirt a nice finished look. So now that we've sewn our skirt together, we're going to join both the side pieces together to make it one complete circle. So what you want to do is you want to match up your seams where you sewed the skirt together and put a pin. This way they look really nice when you turn them right side out. All the joints are matched up perfectly. Now we're going to sew down the side of our skirt. It's right here, back stitch good on each end, and then we will serge it. Now that we have both our side pieces joined together, we're going to take this area down here at the hem where we ironed the folds earlier. We're going to tuck those under to get us started and take those under the machine. And you just want to ride your foot's width along the edge all the way around the skirt of the dress. Just as you go, keep peeking under your skirt to make sure your folds are lined up correctly. Now that we have our hem sewn in place, I went ahead and gathered the top of our dress on the serger. So what we'll do is we're going to line up our sides just like this. We're going to stick the bodice of the dress up underneath, right sides together, and attach that to the dress. You may need to spread your gathers out as you go. Just take your time. Smooth out your gathers a little bit to adjust as you're going around. Always make sure that my seams are in the back of the dress. working your bodice around the skirt as you go. You don't want to stretch out the gathers too much, otherwise it won't look right. And we're coming back around to the beginning where we started. So to make sure you get all your skirt tucked in there, gathered to the bodice. Just make sure you backstitch, kind of run over the seams you started on, and backstitch. Now we're going to go over to the serger. And serge the skirt. Now that we have our skirt serged to the top of our bodice, we're going to flip the bodice up like this and top stitch really close to the edge all the way around. You want to sew on the blue aqua part, so all the way around.